let's talk a bit about the mindset, the CXO or an entrepreneur mindset for that matter. So, given that you are working with a number of businesses already in the form of a mentor, what is it that some of the qualities that you would want to check before you say that I'm willing to work with you? Any person that is reaching out, or for that matter, any person that you have worked with over last 3 decades or so. Uh, what are those some of the qualities that you say ना this is the must, ये नहीं होएगा तो चलेगा नहीं?
I would say, which I have experienced, that it is one, humility, open mindedness. For me, a big no for engagement with any consulting projects or any startup as a investor, advisor, mentor, whatever role I have there is if that owner, founder, or a owner of the business says that I know everything and I know this is what is required and I want you to do this. That's a no for me. I don't associate with that business, whatever they are willing to pay me in the form of money or give me in the form of equity. If that comes with a mindset that I know everything, I know what is to be done, so I just need more hands to do it, and that's why you make that happen. That's a no for me. And I've left so many contracts even before taking that and after taking, when I encountered this thought process with some of the owners in the consulting endeavor, because money is always secondary unless you create a contribution and build something. So the biggest no is as a CXO, and CXO has to be an entrepreneurial mindset. If CXO is not entrepreneurial mindset, the organization is not in the safe hands. CXO cannot be an employee mindset. CXO cannot come with a bias that I know everything. So your best of the suggestions may come from the junior most guys. Right. So that openness, the first quality which a CXO or entrepreneur has to have, that humility and openness, and know his pie chart, that there is a very small I know, and also a very small I don't know. The biggest is I don't know that I don't know. That's a standard.
No, I can actually relate to this because most of the businesses, if at all an entrepreneur is reaching out to an expert and asking for support, and he says, I know, then he probably do not need an expert. He just needs a execution team. So as soon as an expert comes into play, you need to give him that leeway to be able to innovate and try things in his way.
I would agree with just minor addition, appending of what you say. Actually, he needs. That person is the most which he needs. If that mindset is there that I know everything, that person actually needs an expert. Yeah. But unfortunately, it is very difficult for expert to function with him.
Because
function with him.
The customer doesn't need it, he doesn't need
that.
it then, right?
Experts shy away from functioning with that guy. Actually, the biggest need is there. Because if the person has an open mindset, the knowledge can actually be acquired by consulting a lot of people, friends and families, even reading. Yes, expertise is required, the implementation experience is required. That's where expert pitch in. But the person who has this mindset that I know everything actually is the person who needs it most. But yes, for us,
it doesn't to your first strategy, which is about understand your customer. If he doesn't need it, let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. I mean, you will have to leave it because
उसको
you have limited time bandwidth, limited resource bandwidth, so you cannot change the entire world.
Exactly.
So
mindset नहीं change.
You obviously, if you go on boiling the ocean, you'll get hardly any difference which you will create. So you need to identify your opportunities where the owners are receptive, the founder is receptive, they are willing to listen. They are not coming back with the mindset that what I know is the best. So that is the mindset which is definitely required. And when actually hiring a person as senior management people, as CXOs or functional heads or business head, this is the first quality which I check, and I think you should check it. If somebody comes with the attitude that I know everything, that guy is actually not a right fit for that role, because nobody in this world knows everything.
हो ही नहीं सकता.
Nobody in this
ऐसा
world
हो ही नहीं
knows
सकता तो तुमको कैसे पता?
So
linking it with the culture. So one is that when you are hiring a senior person, for that matter, this is something which is required for everybody. Senior persons have the tendency to start saying that I know it because I have had an experience. But if I were to link it with culture, how have you built the cultures in the businesses that you have worked with? Or what is that one advice that you're giving to those mentees of yours while they are building organization with the culture, specifically when we are talking about the age and era wherein the new workforce is entering. And a lot of people have that question that, is it a good or a bad workforce? And over a period of time, they'll prove us wrong for sure.
Whatever worked 30 years back, when I mean, though I was lucky to have bosses who were absolutely open-minded, willing to listen to anything and consider all good suggestions, but that was a time predominantly when the bosses were always right. There used to be a poster.
Yeah.
There are only two rules: boss is always right, and second is, if there is a confusion, refer to rule number one. So that is how it was. So the times have changed with the Gen Zs now entering into thing, and that is a fact that the current next generation is always more informed and more intelligent. You can question their work ethics, you can question their way they take life about, and the balance of profession and life, otherwise the job and life balance. Those are the things which may not match with what we had in our younger days, but they are definitely more intelligent than us. There is there is a lot of learnings, knowledge, openness, thought process which they bring in. So first thing of building a culture is breaking all these communication barriers. So that is whenever I engage with, I engage not only with owners. Owners is something which take a decision. So obviously the initial meetings happen with them, but I start with meeting every functional manager of theirs and hearing out their perspective. And sometimes, trust me, I have to tell the owners that can you please leave the meeting room, because these guys don't come openly when the owner is sitting, who is supposedly paying their salary. Those salary is being paid by the customers, not by the owners. They are just the mechanism of charging it to customer and paying to employees. So I sometimes actually ask, because these guys start putting words in their mouth. नहीं नहीं ये ऐसा होता है ना, ऐसा करते हो ना तुम. So better is to sometimes ask these guys to leave. So, and that's what I said. I have actually left some assignments which were well-paying assignments after 2 months, after 3 months, because I saw a roadblock there. It does not progress to what I want to do. So I don't want to linger on, continue and making that few lakh rupees every month as my fees and not contributing anything significant. There's a lot of opportunities in this world where you can make a meaningful contribution. So better is to focus on those. So this is first part of the culture. Create that, break all the communication barrier and create openness. Second thing I do is, and I inculcate that is starting from owner, is that start questioning everything. Don't take anything as it is. There could be a better way of doing it. It's not that everything needs to be changed. You need to find your priorities, that what is the high impact area and what needs to change currently. But this mindset of questioning everything, that there can be a better way. If there are 30 things which can be improved, you don't take all 30 together, because there is a change, is a process. The water needs to flow. So there is obviously, if it overflows, there is flood. So you cannot bring the flood of changes. But you basically have the mindset of questioning everything. So question whatever is there. Question data, question process, question policies. Everything can be questioned. Nothing is beyond questioning in this world. So that is the two things which is building that culture of growth. And these are the two areas where actually a lot of people get stuck up. A lot of people get stuck up, and trust me, I had to sometimes blatantly tell these owners that you are the bottleneck of the growth. You don't think that you don't have a good team or good employees around. You are the bottleneck. Your thought process, your behavioral, your communication style is the bottleneck of growth. So first is what you have to change.
So, you are carrying a legacy of freedom fighters. You are very strong on your ethics, and you also carry another legacy of being a poet, good having good understanding of both Urdu language and Hindi language, and ability to pass on your message in a very subtle way. Same way, you're building a lot of legacies about entrepreneurship, creating new businesses, and an impact on food for that matter. What is it that you are thinking about in terms of the legacy that you want to pass on to the next generation?
So I'll start with a share on this, that होते हैं मुकम्मल इस जहां में, सपने उन्हीं के अक्सर. होते हैं मुकम्मल मतलब कंप्लीट इस जहां में, सपने उन्हीं के अक्सर. निगाहें हों आसमां पर चले पाँव जमी पर रखकर. So that's one of my share which I thought will suit this. And yes, you're right. Coming from the background of a freedom fighter grandfather and a lower middle class family, what I actually picked up in my early stage is a value system and how to look at things, which is actually helping till today to me, that don't accept anything as it is. There is anything can be questioned, and there could be a better answers to this. So that is one which we deploy in this. So that is the best legacy which you can leave for your next generation, which I also feel is not to pass certain ordinance or rules to them, rather than pass a process of critical thinking and critical evaluation. So as one of my own personal vision of building a cult called entrepreneur, I keep on motivating even my team employees, where you sometimes you say आप अपने employee को भी entrepreneur बनाने चल देते हो. A lot of people tell me, but that's
If
the
you can
kick
do
which I get.
that, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's the kick I get, and I have actually a lot of people who are working as employees with me have turned into entrepreneurs, and I feel very happy about that. So entrepreneurship is actually all about having that mindset of openness. And while when we call that employee mindset is just following a beaten path.
Yeah.
So that is the critical difference which I want to leave aside. I don't want to leave any rules that you should do your marketing this way or you should do your brand building this way, because everything is contextual. So if that mentee has that ability to critically think and analyze things, he will be more often than not, he or she will be able to come up with right answers, rather than just giving them a set rules that your communication style should be this, your branding style should be this, your copywriting should be this, your brand logo like should be this, your analysis should be like this. That's not the what you can pass as legacy, though. That is something what you can pass is this culture of entrepreneurship, and that's I have taken as a personal vision to build a cult called entrepreneurship in the country. I do it my very small impact, but in my own small way. So that is one legacy which I want to pass. And yes, there are certain problems which needs certain bold decisions, like the freedom fighters did at early stage, where they took that bold step of revolting against the all powerful mighty Britishers who were the mightiest army and that time. But they had that courage that no, India needs freedom and I will start that revolt from myself. So that is some of the difficult question. Need a small effort. You need to be counted, not someone looking at the fire silently. Even if a drop of water you're dropping, you are counted in that who are trying to quench that fire. So that is what any of the big problems of the country, whether it is pollution, whether it is global warming, whether it is healthy food, whether it is safety, security, whether it is a lot of new problems with AI coming in, the problem statements are also changing. So everything is changing, but that courage to question the existing practice and try and build something new is that entrepreneurship which I call. And I think if we are able to build that, like no experience in farming. In our families, nobody had even a bigha of farms. So the farms, only farms I had seen is when I visited rural area, I used to go to the farms and see that as a picnic. So getting into a venture which is all related to healthy food, growing, farming, and all was also a bold decision. Coming back from a steel industry, getting into a diamond jewelry. So